Play the ancient tomb, play the Elesh Norn. That is a turn 2 Elesh Norn Mother of Machines. And we gain a life. Oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Start autoing these triggers. I was hoping we'd get to see this.
Today on Commander Replay, we check out the big bad mommy herself, Elesh Norn Mother of Machines, double ETBs. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, there's 2 great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below.
Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Elesh Norn Mother of Machines today. Let's take a look at this opener. Got 2 lands. It's a little light. Cards I want, but no land, no real value. I think we mulligan that. Try to do a little better. Yeah, that's significantly better. That is much better. We got an Ancient 2 Mana Soul Ring. We're going to have all the mana ramp. We're going to be into such a quick Elesh Norn. Can we get a turn 2 Elesh Norn? I think we can. Land tax for opponent. Seems good. Actually cut most of those type of cards from this deck just because we have a lot of the find a land creatures. Seems good. Only 1 white source. Oh, no, we have 2 white sources. Oh, thank God. Okay. We'll go Plains first. Plains, Soul Ring. We could go for the Mother of Runes here if we wanted to play slower and more cautiously. But for the sake of video, I think I'm just going to rush this out here as fast as possible, just because I think it's entertaining. If opponents have something to shoot it, opponents have something to shoot it. If I were playing in paper, I'd probably go the other way and, like, get the Mother of Runes first and do all that. But Aethersworn Canonist. Okay. Okay. That'll keep us from going wild with all of our excess mana in a turn. Tell you what, like, not this turn, maybe next turn? Thinking about making ourselves the Monarch. I always kind of forget about this land. I haven't seen it a ton over the years. Based on that, I think it probably wants to go in very specific decks. If you're very pillow 40 or you can defend yourself really well and you don't have other better card draw options, I think it might be decent for those. Are they expensive? I don't know. I can't imagine they're too much. But it seems like a card that probably didn't get printed a lot either, so who knows? I'm wondering if it's a budget replacement for, like, Makokoro or War Room or Bonder's Enclave or any of that stuff. Soul Ring for opponent, they're going to get their own ramp going, yeah, okay. Opponent gets a couple lands into hand. They do have the black mana they need to cast Kaalia next turn, so that's the thing. Herald's Horn. Interesting choice in Kaalia, just because are they all... Unless they went all the same creature type, that is actually a pretty unusual choice. Choosing Angel. Yeah, if they went all Angels, that makes sense. If they're running all the creatures for Kaalia, then I probably wouldn't run that. But brings it back to our turn. There's some Lightning Greaves. Opponents are not going to have a long opportunity to interact with this Elesh Norn. Play the Ancient Tomb, play the Elesh Norn. That is a turn 2 Elesh Norn Mother of Machines. And so a lot of people talked a lot about Elesh Norn when it was spoiled. And even I did a little video on it, honestly. That's how many people were talking about it. But it's an interesting card. Sheldon on the rules committee thought it was ban-worthy, which, like, doesn't make any sense to me. It's good, and it's strong, and it'll probably be in a lot of decks, and it'll be annoying when you lose to it. But there are a lot of cards like that in Commander. This one does not rise past those, I don't think. Basically anything that makes excessive mana is far more dangerous than what this is. So we play this on turn 2 about as fast as you can play it. Even if we just attack people for the next, like, 8 turns, if they block it all, right? Like that, they're not even in Commander lethal range. Now, it's annoying and shuts down a lot of different things from a lot of decks, and especially for, like, decks that probably need those things shut down. Simic loves its ETB value. But the one thing that I do think is actually a little bit concerning is actually the amount of power and toughness on this thing, because when you get this thing down early, like we just did, I mean, there's not going to be anything on the board that can attack or block profitably into this thing for, like, I don't know, probably 4 to 5 more turns. At least in this case, right? If there's a Voltron deck, maybe, but, you know, 4/7 is really big for 5 mana. That eliminates a large amount of, like, red removal spells other than, like, Blasphemous Act. You know, if you're running, I don't know, no one really runs it, but, like, Spite Bellows does 6 damage. I'm sure there are other cards that Inferno does 6 damage. You know, there are a lot of red cards that do 6 damage for one reason or another, or 3 doubled with the damage doubler. That's just like, this isn't gonna die to that. And, you know, I get that that's like a fairly niche thing, but just, that's a lot of toughness, and this thing is hard to kill, at least in creature combat. So that's all a thing. In hindsight, like, I think a 4/5 or a 4/6 4/6 would make it right around Neheb stats, and I'm fine with that. Like, Neheb is very good, and its body, discounting its mana ability, which is insane, its body is very strong for when it comes down into the game. This is actually bigger and has vigilance. So, yeah. Well, things are going to get wild now. So I think the first thing we do is play this Loyal Warhound. I believe we only get one land with it, but that's okay. There are 2 triggers. I don't know that both will actually work. We'll see how this goes. Didn't really read it super closely. If an opponent controls more lands than you, search your library for... we'll see. We'll see. So there's the first one. Nope, second one fizzles. Yeah, just like I thought. That's what I thought would happen. We can play the boots. We're going to have to use the Ancient Tomb. Put the boots on. Oh, hey, that shuts down our Mother of Runes. That's good to keep in mind. Oh, we need to play a land is what we need to do. We can't play any of the other stuff in our hand anyway because of the Aethersworn Canonist. Attacking the Kaalia deck seems like a good idea. Does that have Vigilance too? It does. We have a Vigilant Army. A long time ago, Patreon submitted a Jeskai Vigilance deck, which I thought was really cool. It had a lot of the blue, none of your stuff on taps cards, which I guess is the way that you build a Vigilance deck, right? Like, if you're wanting to go all in on Vigilance, you just make it so nothing untaps. Which is like, it's cool conceptually, but it is a terrible time to play against a deck like that. Anyway, that deck got me thinking about, like, potentially doing a series based around the keywords, or the creature keywords. And then I kind of started looking through the list of keywords and realized that, like, a lot of the decks are kind of like, they build themselves and have already been done. Like, Trample is not super interesting. Every green deck ever just has all the Trample, so nothing too crazy there. Flying has been done. Obviously, you can, like, nuke all the ground creatures. If you're playing red, you got, like, Fault Line and Magma Quake. I wonder if there's other cards like that. I'm not sure. Things that punish the ground. So anyway, I kind of went through that mental thought exercise and arrived at a place. I'm like, maybe there's not that much to actually do there. Oh, no. All right, we're back from a little crashy crash. Those happen after new releases on Magic Online, like Phyrexia 1 that just came out, which is very unfortunate, but things still seem to be intact. So that is okay. Does it begin combat? I think we're ready to attack. Uh-oh. Oh, that got weird. Okay. So I noticed that the 4 damage was already tracked from when we attacked them right before the crash. Oh god, is the turn order all messed up now? This is a really stacks-heavy game, by the way. I hope it doesn't crash. ETBs are off. You cannot cast more than 1 non-artifact spell, and activated abilities are off. Stacks-heavy game. Opponent says, oops, all stacks. Opponent revealed Atariel. Nice. Nice. I've used this a little bit in Tap Creature Tribal, even in that deck, which is like, I mean, that's probably its most ideal use case because of the mana and the fact that you're able to use it more than 1 time in a turn, and it's still highly mediocre, even in that sense. However, as a 4/7 Flying Vigilant, it's actually not terrible, but its ability is just so unreliable. Still fun to mess around with, though. In combination with the other steal effects I have in that deck, I often end up with a giant pile of my opponent's creatures. If I'm playing on webcam, I usually start a Word document to track them all, because that's how many I typically end up with. There's Kaalia coming in. Yep, doesn't look like any haste yet, which is good. Find out what the biggest thing in their hand is. We know they have this. As good as that one is, and it's pretty good, at least it's not a Mana Dragon or Avacyn, any of the really nasty stuff, because you can have some real nasty stuff with Kaalia. Rakdos. If I play Kaalia again, I'm playing Rakdos. I think I've probably padded in there for some of them. Whether it's actually showed up or not is another story, but I am definitely the person that would play Rakdos in a Kaalia deck, because Rakdos the Defiler is a hilarious Magic card. We draw a land. Honestly, we probably could use a little more than a land right there. We are on 4 lands. What are our opponents on? 4 and 4. No real value on this Loyal Warhounds. Maybe we just kind of hold our stuff. I think we're going to lose that Monarch real quickly, which is disappointing. But we have mana and not a lot of card draw. So I think we're just cracking this thing to become the Monarch. I guess we can play the Mother of Runes also. Seems like a good idea. Oh, wait. The Mother of Runes can't do anything, at least until this goes away. Yep, should have held that. Oopsie. Let's do some attacking. Really hot on Mother of Runes of late. I stopped running this card for a long time, and I'm really liking it now. Just the way the game is kind of developed. We'll send this one into Sean, and we'll send this one into Flintlock. The way the game's developed now, a lot more spot removal than there used to be. The game used to be very board wipe heavy, maybe 5 years ago. And so Mother of Ruins, it was still decent, but just the way people played, it wasn't counteracting as much removal. Now, a lot more spot removal. You tend to need to blow things up early and break apart combos and value engines and stuff like that. And Mother of Ruins is really good at protecting against that stuff. Opponent blocks with the low shield, sent to the graveyard. I mean, it's only 4. Oh, I know. That deck pulls a bunch of things out, doesn't it? It doesn't. That's a non-artifact, though. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to give that up right there. Ooh, we draw a route. Nice. If things get bad, we can route. Flying blocking is a concern for this deck. I think I left Thaumatic Compass in, did I? Let's take a peek at the deck. That's a Toski coming in, by the way. So here's a look at the deck. Of note, I am running very little equipment. This is that, and Lightning Greaves is about it. For my own personal paper build of this, if I were going to build this, it would definitely have more equipment, but I was trying to go full ETB with this build just to see what happens, because, oh, that's a Doomscar. All right, yep, blow up the board. Everything going away. Oh, God, I wish I didn't play that Mother of Ruins. Now, there's a Revelark and a Karmic Guide in the deck, and, those can get that back, but I wish I had held that. Although, the good news is, we're going to get another crack with that Monarch, which I think we badly need. It's going to take people a second to get going again, so at least one more Monarch trigger, which is good. But anyway, back to the deck. Yeah, so I wanted to go full ETB with it because historically, Mono White and Boros ETB, they are fun value decks, but they haven't been great at closing out the game. So I wanted to see if that is still true with Elesh Norn. There are a couple really cool things, like Blessed Sanctuary can just spit out a lot of bodies. Felidar Retreat and Gold Knight Commander. Double triggers off those can actually make your team pretty big, and so you can get some meaningful damage in theoretically that way. I've got Akroma's Memorial up here at the top end just because turning all your creatures into Akroma, pretty awesome. And still a really good way to win games. That is much deadlier than I think people give it credit for, because it doesn't show up that much these days. And I get 7 mana's a bit, but if you're paying 7 mana and you have a bunch of creatures in play, the people across from you will probably die because there are so many abilities on that card. But in the middle here, we see some fairly standard white ETB stuff. Rumor Gatherer looks really interesting for this deck, one that I need to use a little bit more. Always kind of forget about. I've got the Revelark Karmic Guide combo. I figured this deck needs a way to close the game out somehow. White doesn't have a lot of combo options available, and if you're doing ETBs, you want to be running these anyway, so that just seemed like the most logical thing. That's a very early Akroma. That's coming down. Yep, that's a big old 6/6 flyer, which will in fact steal our Monarch, which I was kind of hoping we would be able to hang on to. Oh, they don't send in. Oh, they got a full hand. Yeah, that's why. I guess we are going to get to keep it for one more turn. Sean said fixed it. Yes, you did. I'll tell you what, as expensive as this card is to get in play, it's still pretty good. Yeah, it's not like some crazy value engine that's just going to it's not Elder Gargaroth or Sun Titan or something like that just kind of wins the game on its own. But it's the type of thing that just it's going to get damage in every turn because there are so few things that block this profitably. No one usually has any of them. So someone's taking 6 every turn and it's a nightmare to attack into. So I played in the Angel deck. It shows up every once in a while in other random decks that I run. And late in the game, this thing's still helpful. It's the haste that really puts it over the top. And that's what I find really makes it very, very good, is just being able to get something into play and get something done with it right now is so huge. So huge. Anyway, it brings back to our turn. We don't have a whole lot going on here. I think we're just recasting our commander. What are we on, 7 now? Yep, gotta use the Ancient Tomb. Grip the Boots. Everyone's at 34. Can't? Well, they would just bounce off each other, I guess. But Toski's indestructible. That can block all day. That's unfortunate. So I guess Sean's getting 4 right here. Now, that is the one problem with being the person that casts the board wipe. He cast the board wipe, and I think he cast it for 5 mana. I didn't quite see. I don't think he foretold it. We do draw a card, which is helpful, but he kind of loses. He's the last one that gets to rebuild. Now, the board probably needed to be cleaned up. Kaalia was out there. Our commander was out there. Some other nasty stuff. Bunch of stacks pieces. Maybe that's why he gave up his creature early. He's probably thinking that he's just going to have to wipe the board anyway. But if you're going to do that, I don't know. Because this thing came down so early. It depends on when he drew his cards, but it might just make sense to hold this and not get it killed. That is an infiltration lens onto the Toski. Yep. So if it deals damage to you, you draw a card. If you block it, they draw 2 cards. So I think we're better off taking the 1. So they only draw 1 card. Infiltration Lens is a very interesting card. Kristen used to run it a lot. I haven't run it a ton. I've run it here and there. It's okay. First off, it's cheap dollar cost wise, which is helpful. Second, it's cheap mana value wise, also helpful. But like early in a game, you may not get the result that you're looking for, but later in a game, as people's life totals start to get lower, they're going to block. They're going to block more, and that's when you're going to start drawing cards. So it can be awkward at certain points of the game, but at other points of the game, sometimes you just draw a lot of cards with it. So it depends. I saw Fish play this the other day. She was playing her Elesh Norn Mother Machines deck, and Sajiri's stat surprisingly good when Elesh Norn in your command zone. Because then you get 2 creatures that get protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. That's pretty legit for only playing a land. That is the type of thing that late in the game, if you have some big dumb creature that you can attack with, like this, or if you put like a sword or a Blackblade Forge on this, that's going to get people killed, is what that's going to do. Yeah, and so thinking about like possible builds with this deck, I would say, like I said, I'm worried about the ETB thing, and like right now we're kind of not in the best spot, but ETBs have historically been very slow in these colors. And so that would lead me toward, like, honestly, a Blackblade Reforged and something with Trample or Evasion is probably going to be a much faster way to actually close the game out with Elesh Norn. Now, a lot of people will try to remove that if you're doing that, but yeah, just kind of thinking about, like, what mono white is good at. Because the problem is that there's basically no easy way to find Revelark, right? You can find Karmic Guide, you can Enlighten Tutor for one of the sack outlets, but finding Revelark is the difficult one, and if that became easier, it'd be so much easier for decks like this to be able to put together the win. But until that happens, yeah, I mean, some amount of Ultron Blackblade Reforged is going to be your friend here. One thing I thought about too is that I might do this if I play it again. I might actually try to do like a Soul Sisters build, because whenever a creature enters, it's going to trigger twice, and that seems pretty cool. And that seems like it could be a fun little take on this commander that isn't just like really generic ETB stuff. I think the other thing you could probably try to do, you could probably just go like Hate Bear Tribal. That one it'll have some of the problems we talked about of like, how do you close the game out? You're very certainly going to have to lean on like Felidar Retreat and Gold Knight Commander and stuff like that. You could potentially even do like an ETB tokens theme. I thought about a little bit. I don't know. There's a handful of cards that produce tokens when they ETB, or that would get doubled by this Elesh Norn, and I think that's a decent way to go also. And perhaps even better than what we're doing. Like, I'm not completely sold on like that this is the best way to go. I wanted people to just kind of get a feel for it with this video more than anything. I do love me some Adarkar Valkyrie. That is a sweet magic card. Allows Aurelia to go infinite with a sack outlet, which is fun. But other than that, it saves stuff as it dies, and it's a big flying snow angel. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I forget where I read this, but the character in the image apparently looks exactly like the artist's wife. He used her as a model for the card. How about that? That's a chroma going on the attack. I mean, it should probably... Well, they're still at 7. I mean, I guess they just don't want the Monarch. I mean, if they take it from us, we can't really get it back. It's kind of a thing. We would like to find a value creature, because we have all the stuff to make it awesome. Oh, Toski stole it from us. They steal from Toski. Okay. Well, we're going to have trouble wrestling that back. I guess we could do the pro-white thing. We need another creature, though, to move the boots. That's a thing. Hopefully we draw a card draw creature. We've got a bunch of them in the deck. About 4 or 5 that I can think of. That is not one of them. That's a finisher is what that is. I don't really want to just run that down there. That's the type of card that's going to get shot. So I think we play the land, play the Conjurer's Closet. Yeah, there's just nothing good for us over there. They can block. That's got Death Touch. There are no good attacks. Yeah, I mean, it took a number of turns. What was that? It's probably about 3 to 4 turns from when I made that statement. It's turn 6. Yeah, I mean, the turn 6 is about when you expect bigger stuff to kind of hit the board. So, but yeah, up until this point, we've had a pretty good go with just giant creature. Giant creature. That being the... yeah, maybe... Well, I guess if we block the Toski, they draw 2, and then the Akroma still just steals it from us, and we lose some life. So, yeah, I guess that is what it is. Cultivate for opponent. We actually don't need ramp. Almost every time someone else casts a Cultivate, I'm like, oh, I wish I had a Cultivate. This is not one of those times we actually need one. I want card draw more than I want anything. Kasari Ghana. Yeah. There's a weird old equipment. 3 mana. Equipped creature has 2. This creature gets fire breathing. Okay, that's not the exciting part. When equipped creature deals damage to a blocking creature, Kasari Ghana deals that much damage to each other defending creature that player controls. Equipped 3. It's a weird card. It's really mana intense, but it can like blow up someone's entire board, which is cool. Toski's gonna poke us for 1 again. I guess that just happens. Kusari Gama deals the damage, so Death Touch doesn't work with that, which is unfortunate. But if you just have a big creature, you can blow up all of someone's stuff. It's very interesting. I've thought about it a number of times for a bunch of different decks, and like, it's not typically best in slot for an equipment deck, but it is cool. It is an interesting card. Makes you think a little bit. That is Liberator Urza's Battlethopter. Flash, flying. Cast artifacts with flash. Whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana spent is greater than the Liberator, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Okay. So his artifacts have flash. He did play that in his main phase, which seems maybe counterintuitive. Oh, maybe he's trying to get the counter on it. That kind of makes sense. Rebecc coming in. It's going to be a lot of protection. Yeah, the protection gets kind of nasty. This thing have vigilant. Oh, God, this thing gives it vigilance? Eek. Wouldn't say no to a Lauren right now. Start shooting stuff and drawing cards. I don't think I've actually read our commander, by the way. I should probably do that. Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines. 5 mana, 4/7, Vigilance. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger it an additional time. Permanents entering the battlefield don't cause abilities of permanents your opponents control to trigger. So essentially Hushbringer there. What's important to keep in mind in that wording is that it doesn't care who controls the thing that ETBs. It only cares about who controls the permanent that's triggering. So your permanents trigger an additional time, regardless of whose ETB it is, and opponents' permanents do not trigger for ETBs, in case that's confusing to anyone. But yeah, we're playing some Elesh Norn today. Take a look at what our opponents are playing. First up is Flintlock piloting Drizzet Do Erden. It's kind of a... We've seen it a few times on the channel. It's kind of a weird Voltron kind of thing. We see a bunch of equipment over there. They've definitely got me with it a few times. At some point, it's just bigger and double striking than anything you have, and that's always a problem. Got to watch out for that. In the middle, we've got Sean piloting his Rebecc and Alena deck. This is a whole bunch of artifact creatures. We've played this one on the channel. And it's got some reanimation, and it's got some like really big late game stuff. So as the game goes later, got to watch out for this thing. He's going to have all the big reanimate spells. I think there's a Darksteel Forge in there. The 9 mana Titan, all the big stuff. Things that I feel like our deck is not particularly well suited to handle. We're supposed to be valuing. We're not really valuing. That is a pretty big concern. We've mostly stayed on top of our lands. We're on 7 lands. It's turn 7, so it's reasonable. One's a double land. That's an Akroma Vision of Ixidor. Yeah, okay. So it does look like they are going full Angel Tribal, which makes the Herald's Horn make sense. And there's a Gisela. At some point, we're going to have to think about that route. Probably still going to hold off as long as I can. I mean, it's instant speed. That is the beauty of route. But, like, next turn, if they want to turn all the... Oh, God, this one gets huge off of that Akroma. Yep, going to combat. This is going to be a lot of damage in someone's face. Yeah, we're going to definitely leave up the route for next turn. Unless we get something that wants to make us cast at main phase, but I don't know that that'll be a thing. Yeah, it becomes a 12-12. It's pretty large. You have 2 combats, it becomes an 18-18. Done it in my Angel Tribal deck a few times. It's a really good time. It is nice to actually see the power and toughness, because it's usually in paper this happens. You don't get to see the power and toughness change. Yeah. Something about a really big Akroma just makes me happy. Maybe I need to build an Akroma deck. And it's like... As out of style as Akroma would be as a commander right now, I think there's enough tools out there that you could make a really cool Akroma deck. Maybe that's something we need to do. Someone put that on the to-do list. Where's it going? Oh, yeah, it's coming our way. This will be, what, like a third of our life, give or take? Ooh, it's gonna hurt going down to 20. They didn't attack with that one. Yeah, this Akroma. Both these Akromas. So good. So good. I'll tell you what, though. I really wish we could go back in time to put haste on the red Akroma. Something just not right about red Akroma not having haste. Oof. Down to 20. They draw. Yep. Kaalia deck doing Kaalia things is kind of scary. I don't know how many cards they have in their hand that are like cards versus lands. Because of the land tax. So they have 6 cards, but there may not be that much gas left. It's tough to say. I think Tariel's in the graveyard. Okay. That's awkward. I'm going to hold this for a turn. Eventually I'll probably play it if we don't catch lands. But yeah, I think we're just on cast route when the time comes. If you didn't have profitable attacks into the Kaalia player before, you definitely don't when they have this Achroma with this Achroma. Because that's just a lot. Like, Galta can't attack into that profitably without some help. It's no surprise that creatures attacking and blocking are like my favorite part of the game. Also, like destroying creatures and reanimating creatures, which is ironic because I don't play that much black, but I used to play like a ton of black before I started the channel, and I kind of just got sick of it. But mono black tends to play the same every time, especially when you have no budget like on Magic Online. There's the Cleansing Nova, blowing everything up. I can appreciate that. Means we can save our route for a later day. Definitely like that. Back to the command zone. There is some hope that we might be able to wrestle that Monarch trigger back. Maybe not, for Toski's still alive. So Toski will probably steal it right here. We don't really have a way past the Toski, which is not the best. But at least the Achromas are off the board. Yeah, that was a scary board state right there. Opponent says with that on purpose because we passed without doing anything. And I said, yeah, I'm sitting on Baltic with crack. That's a Dane Cook joke from a very, very long time ago. Meaning we got nothing going on. Sitting on route was basically all we had going. Yep, Toski's going to steal that Monarch. I haven't figured out how we're going to steal the Monarch from the Toski. Honestly, I would have been happier to try to wrestle it from the Kaalia player because, well, I mean, I guess they probably cast Tariel this turn. Yeah, maybe that's not great either. Evasion. We need equipment. That's what we need. Drawing all the weird stuff. We got the board wipe. We got the finisher. We've got the mass blink spell. We've got the other blink spell that probably combos with something. I didn't do the math to see if this combos with something, but it probably does. Oh, you can do it with the Angel, can't you? Yeah, I think you can do it with the Angel. Because I've got Altar of the Brood in the deck as a win condition also. So in case you don't have Altar of Dementia specifically, you can still mill people out doing the Revelar loop. That's Alena coming into play. Yep. I want to build an Alena deck. I've put Alena into some decks that I've had over the past year or two, and she comes down at that time where it's like you cast her and she immediately gets caught up in a board wipe. Very awkward. Very, very awkward. Oh, maybe that's a way to do my red creatures I want to play tribal deck that isn't just running the Heb, because my current version's running the Heb because the Heb's insane. This would probably be a more fair-ish version of that, but I do feel like you're probably going to want a lot of untap artifacts and stuff, which it takes up card slots to do that. Neheb is just good. You just run Neheb. Bunch of burn spells, which, removal is good also. Neheb's going to draw a lot of attention at the table, and opponents lose to that once or twice. They're not going to let Neheb stick. Alena, on the other hand, I don't know that anyone's going to be spending a lot of spot removal on her. She'll probably get caught up in board wipes because 5-drops, timing, all that stuff. But, even if you can get a little mana before she goes down, it's not awful. I do like that they put First Strike on there. It just makes her a nice little blocker. Herald's Horn and land tax. Ameria. Ooh. They just caught an Ameria Shepherd with some planes. It's all coming back. It's all coming back. Who do you get first? Achroma? I'd probably get this Achroma. Just because steal that Monarch back. But there's something to say about Adarkar Valkyrie, because then your stuff's never going to die. Oh yeah. Ameria Shepherd into Adarkar Valkyrie basically forces us into the route. It's not ideal. Unfortunately, Sean is 1 mana short of using that Scavenger Ground. Yep, there's the planes. Yeah, go for OG Achroma. When I was putting this deck together, I realized that Ameria Shepherd is insane with this commander. Ameria Shepherd's really good anyway, but when you double that up, oh man, that seems incredible. Even with the very little bit that we have in our graveyard, that'd be a pretty good time. Still have the problem of we need to wrestle this Monarch back somehow, and we're just kind of outclassed on the board. It's not amazing. I wonder if we can get Sean to crack that Scavenger Ground, because, yeah, Mary Shepherd will get out of hand. Achroma into Sean. Honestly, I'd go over here. They got this thing suited up, which isn't going anywhere, and they're just drawing cards left and right, and it's a green deck, so, you know, even if they just catch all their small ramp spells, like if they're drawing a lot of cards, they'll catch the ramp also, and 2 more turns from now, you could find yourself very overwhelmed. But I guess we're getting to the part of the game. Well, Sean hasn't made... What is he on? He's on 8 lands, so he's even with the turn count, which I guess is okay. But ideally, you would have also ramped a little bit. Although, if he untaps with the Alena and plays 1 big creature, that's a lot of extra mana. He's down to 2 cards in hand, so that is a concern. But we've made a lot of extra mana this game on account of these 2, but have not really found the things we need to do with it. Baneslayer Angel. Love me some Baneslayer Angel. If someone wanted to play a wheel, I would not be all that upset. Oh, we finally find the card draw. Okay. Sadly, Elesh Norn's not in play, but this is still 2 card draws is what this is. This is a big deal. How much mana do we have? We have 9 mana. Yeah, we can get this. Hopefully no one takes notices. Importantly, this is a flying blocker, which seems like something that could be very relevant very soon. Cast the Inspiring Overseer, and if we can blink this thing enough times, it does gain us life, which is also very relevant. We draw a card, and it gets a counter. This target? Yep. Can't put the boots on it. Well, who's got the Monarch? We've got the Monarch over... Ooh, that's a Wall of Omens. Well, we can't cast the Wall of Omens. It's unfortunate. Yeah, we could boots and steal, but I just leaving having a blocker here kind of makes a little bit of sense. Won't do much against the Chroma, but at least against the other 2 if they want to come in our direction. End step, do it again! Love to catch a Swords or a Path. I think I cut one of them. I think it's only Swords in the deck. Resets the Cathar's Crusade, but we do draw another card and gain another life. Ooh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That can be fun. Especially this thing's so good with boots. Boots and blink. Yeah, this is the dream team for Lauren right here. Though, Bow of Nylea is spicy. That 1/1 just got scarier. I was going to say there wasn't a great target for the Lauren, but that's a reasonable one. I mean, slowing the Kaalia down is probably a good idea. They've gotten a little value with this. It's also just ramp. Oh, is this the Archer Tribal version? They have an Archer Tribal version of this deck. God, that's expensive. 6 mana, 3/3. God, 8th edition. What were you thinking? Eek. I think it should be like 4. I'd be okay with that at 4 mana. You can go like 5 mana, make it like a 3/5 or something. 3/4, 3/5, 3/5 probably. Oh, God. The creature balance was just so bad 20 years ago. Yep, they're going to poke for 1 with the Death Toucher. It draws a card. Draws another with the Monarch. Yep. The value. The value. I think I mentioned this earlier, like, there is a pretty good amount of card draw in this deck, and we finally ran into 2 pieces that are clumped, well, 3 pieces, I guess, all clumped right next to each other, but yeah, I'm like, how have we not run into something yet? Because we've drawn a little bit, and there's a good number of cards in here that do it. So I'm hoping we can keep these going. At least we've got the backup in hand, just in case, like, another board wipe goes off or something like that. Tapping out for the Saheeli's Directive. Reveal the top X cards of your library. Put any number of artifacts with mana value X or less from among them. X is 6. That actually misses a number of things in his deck. He does all right, though. Solemn Simulacrum and Steel Hellkite and Hammer of Perforos. Hammer of Perforos is worth shooting. It will be funny to see if he remembers that this has protection from dragons, because this is a dragon. That is the line of text that is very easy to forget. On Baneslayer Angel. Protection from demons and dragons. I've done it once or twice. Sean's got a little army. Sends over the 3... Oh, they're just trying to get their Solemn killed. Blocks with the Baneslayer. Baneslayer is going to gain him some life. Such a sick magic card. Wish this was still Modern playable. Modern's in a way different place now. I dabbled in Modern, it was probably like 2015. Maybe 2016. That was the last time I played Modern. I didn't really care for it, to be completely honest. He gets 6 red mana off the Alena. What's he got as a follow-up? Importantly, one of his Metalworker. That's a real magic card. Importantly, one of his follow-ups should have been cracking the Scavenger Grounds, because there are more planes to go and more trouble. I mean, he might just die, right? He's at 24. If they go other Achroma and turn everything this way, that's a lot of damage. And so, like, this is medium threatening now. Although it's a question of, like, what we have to worry about is that we're the weak link at the table right now. We just, like, don't have a lot going on. We've got a little bit of value nonsense. But, yeah, we could easily get killed because we're the weakest. We need the other players at the table to perceive everyone else as the threat and kill each other for a little while we try to get ourselves sorted out here. Landfall, Plainsfall, if you will. Yeah, I think the choice is, do you get this as the protection, or do you get this and just go ham and start dropping people? Start dropping people, that's what they're going with. That is a fine choice for sure. That is definitely a solid choice. Because, oh god, this thing gets huge too. This becomes a 9/9. Ooh, with lifelink, that's going to be a bit. Which means that, like, our next play is basically going to have to be route. Which means we probably don't want to play the Wall of Omens. Yeah, they've got mana now too, so they can cast. Oh, no. No. Well, are we on the chopping block? There's enough things out here now that they might choose other targets. Ooh, yeah, okay. They go Bow of Nylea and the Dragon. So we dodge a bullet there, because usually one of these is going to get picked off 9 times out of 10. Who's going to die? Got a 12/12. We've got a 9/9. Yup. This one can't attack yet. Yeah, those are some big creatures. Those are some big creatures. God, I love angels. Wish I was playing an angel deck today. Someone was playing Giada the other day, and like, Giada's +1/+1 counter ability is extremely cool. Because I think they were playing budget angels too. Was it Jenka? I can't remember. And I don't know, just watching it made me want to play Giada. I'm like, yeah, that's a cool deck. Because, you know, one of the problems with angels is that they're a little small relative to their CMC quite a bit of the time. Like, they usually have a lot of good abilities. They're not just like giant. They go after the Drizzet deck, fearing the green and the card draw, perhaps. Maybe not all that worried about Sean's little ground army. They go up to 43 and steal the Monarch. We could pro white and steal the Monarch, which I might do. We gotta watch out. They're leaving up, what was that, 5 mana? Any number of protection spells in that could be bad. They draw. Suture Priest is an interesting magic card. So we have the Ghost Way. How much mana do we have? It'll take 7 to route. We have 9 total mana, which means we really don't want to cast anything. We could theoretically protect against our own route with a Ghost Way, but we don't have the mana to do all of that. So that means this thing is white, correct? Yes, it is white. Okay. Play the Sajiri step. Give our creature pro white. White. Go to combat. That thing's going to trigger. Yep. Swing into the Kaalia player. Go, little angel, go. All pro white. Yeah, that is a problem. When you play an angel deck, almost all of your creatures are white. And if someone has pro white for some reason, like a Retachroma, or something like this, or a sword, you cannot block. Been down that road many times before. Retachroma. I mean, not that many people play Retachroma anymore, but it used to show up more, and it was always a problem. Like, oh god, there's nothing in this deck to handle that. Pray for, like, Blasphemous Act. We steal the Monarch. Excellent. Yeah, I think we're just gonna pass and sit on our stuff. Sit on this route is basically where we're at. Trigger. Draw with the Monarch. Blink our thing. Use the ability. This will untap it as a blocker too, which is nice. Probably gonna have to discard. I don't actually know what I want to get. Ooh, Blessed Sanctuary is really cool. I don't want to discard that. Cavalier Dawn. Also really cool. Cavalier is cool, but I just don't know that we're gonna have the tempo to get that in. That's probably gonna be more of like a wait for Revelark kind of thing. Drum Bellower. That's a cool card. We should add a tap symbol so I can put it in my tap creature tribal deck. Sadly, it does not. Heavy Ballista. Yeah. Yeah. Equips the thing to the Ballista. Gives it haste. So they have a total of 5 damage they can do to an attacking creature. I mean, that's not bad. Doesn't do a ton with the Achroma, but you might be able to pick it like it. They won't be able to go anywhere with this. And, I mean, killing the Maria Shepherd would be a pretty big deal. Sword of the Animist. I'm jealous. You know what the problem is this game? We haven't had a Sword of the Animist all game. This is what happens when I don't play equipment decks. I really just wanted to try to not make an equipment deck or something that, you know, uses the same 4 cards I run everywhere, but then we get stuck for several turns and don't do a whole lot, and that's not great. Now we're just trying to cling to life. Surprisingly, not trying to take the Monarch from us. Sean's probably going to want a piece of that Monarch. He does not have a lot of cards. He has 0 cards. In fact, gets poked with the Toski. They draw a card. This is a card that I need to run more than I do. I kind of forgot about it for a long time, but it's a decent way to get some damage done in mono white because, you know, a lot of people play a lot of creatures now. Creatures are good, so you can get a lot of incidental life loss with this thing, and the fact that you can gain some life too just does a lot for 2 mana. Most white cards aren't this good, honestly. Well, maybe now there's a few, but, going back a few years, they definitely were not. See what Sean's thinking. Wow. Everything into the Kaalia deck. What does he have? Was he board wipe? Maybe he has nothing and just hoping for the best. One's got Death Touch. Can either use a Nykthos or a Nyx Lotus. We have, like, a lot of mana worth of stuff to cast and just not the mana to cast it. Did he just bluff them? They're going no blocks? Yeah, they're not blocking. They have a lot of life, so they can do that. Oh, he just tapped the Scavenger Ground. Stop tapping the Scavenger Ground. Use the Scavenger Grounds. Oh, Austere Command. All creatures. Funny story. I don't know what's going to happen right here. If opponent had Teferi's protection, this is the exact situation where you route over the top of their Teferi's protection. This board wipe is going to be pretty good, though. God, they should have left this up. Toski, just chilling. Just chilling. It's okay, though. Now that the big stuff has been cleared out, I think we're poised to have some success here. These two together can get some work done, I think. A Pearl Medallion would be really sick. Or Hazard's Monument. Pretty sure both are in here. Yep. That would get us the mana we need without having to, like, wait a turn or spend a lot of mana to get to it. We gotta hope the Kaalia deck doesn't rebuild too much. We've exhausted a large number of creatures. Since they are playing angels, there are a lot of reanimation angels. They catch a Karmic Guide, they get a Maria Shepherd, play a Plains, then they're rebuilt right back to where they were. Oh yeah, opponent didn't save anything with their Adarkar Valkyrie. I think they've had the Valkyrie. As long as it wasn't summoning sick, yeah, it would have saved something. Which is actually a big deal. That's like, holy dear God, it's that one. Oh, that one's nasty. I mean, we've seen that they've got all the big nasties, so I don't want to lay down the route yet. We're probably going to need this at some point, so... Who's got the Monarch? Oh, we still have it. We're going to get another Monarch draw. Wouldn't mind a land right here. Land or Pearl Medallion would be the most ideal. Elesh Norn is not either of those things. So what we do is we play this Blessed Sanctuary. We play Suture Priest. Cathar's Crusade and Blessed Sanctuary will trigger. Does the order matter here? Yes, it does. Cathar's Crusade on the bottom. Which triggers it again! And we gain a life. Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Start autoing these triggers. I was hoping we'd get to see this. I always kind of forget about Blessed Sanctuary, and it's a really good Magic card. We'll always yes to that. Play the Lauren. Wow, the thing's up to a 4/4 already. It's going to get bigger right here. Lauren, let's get rid of this thing. This is doing a little more work than I'd like it to. Cathar's on the bottom. The value. Boots on Lauren. Sean looks like he wants a card. There's the land that we were looking for. Play the land. Notably, that is an important land because that's an Emeria on 6 planes. And that is a strip mine. Move the boots over to the Suture Priest. I think I'm going to give it... I mean, it's risky. If Sean finds a big thing, then this could get us killed. But for the time being, I feel like... I don't know. We have a lot of ground creatures, so we're okay right there. So I think I'm actually probably going to shoot this Soul Ring just because, Kaalia's been doing a lot this game. So it seems like it might make sense to do something about that. Yeah, this is kind of awesome. This is a win condition, is what this is, honestly. Now, these are 2 5-drop enchantments. Takes a little bit to get those into play. Takes even more for someone to not shoot them. Shoot that Soul Ring. So a lot of things kind of need to go our way for that, but with a Maria Shepherd, you can get these out of the graveyard pretty easily. And if you have Norn in play, 1 Plains will get both. Also, our life's going up pretty dramatically here too, which is really nice. We're back up to 24. And we've got a little bit of an army for the first time this game. I guess we had the early Norn and then just a lot of nothing after that. And we draw with the Monarch. Uh-oh. I'm probably going to wait on that because we're very much in like opponents need to wipe the board. Otherwise, we will just value them to death. This seems like a good backup option is what that is. Notably, Elesh Norn can kill the stupid Toski that's been in play all game. This thing survived like 3 or 4 board wipes. With at least one more that could happen. Suture Priest is up to a 7/7. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm not thrilled about this. I mean, I guess it's only a 2/2, but next turn we can lay down the hammer. Felidar Guardian on Lauren, start shooting all the artifacts, enchantments that matter. Sword of the Realms, cool card. Also, Halvar's so good that like, man, they should probably be playing Halvar right there. That is the problem with this card is that like, Halvar is so ridiculously good that it is hard to get to a place where you want Sword of the Realms. I've had it come up a few times, but in general, Halvar is usually the way to go, but I mean, if we Elesh Norn now, it just goes back to their hand. I mean, it still gets it out of play for a little while, so that's something. Where are they going with this? I'm kind of curious. Still only a 4/2. They're going nowhere with it. Yeah, I mean, probably at least poke Sean to get the card draw, right? Casting our commander would be pretty awesome. Well, it's going to be a lot of mana, but ideally anything we do, we'd want to leave up the Ghostway right here. I don't know that we're going to have mana for our commander and Ghostway. I think Norn is on 9. I think we need a... Oh, no, we might have enough. We might have Xaxes. Because Norn, with all these other things going off, is really cool. And I know we can play this one, and like this one is usually the correct call 98% of the time, but Skyclave Relic, let's see if they fix this. When you kick it, it doesn't always, I think the copies don't always untap. Curious to see. Rebecc into play, yeah. No artifact creatures. Ooh, you know what's notable, though, is that will protect their Hammer of Perforos from us shooting it. Suture Priest, gonna get him for 1. Got him. Yes. 1 damage for the Suture Priest. We'll see how much we can get done with it. I mean, Kaalia is probably not going to lay down like a ton of creatures, but they threw like a Mass Reanimate or something. You might. I also have to wonder if it's keeping Flintlock from playing creatures because they're so low on life. I need to revisit that Sword of the Realms deck. I did a Sword of the Realms deck on live stream, but I want to do like an actual video for it because it's kind of tricky. It's a tricky card, but there's some like weird, cool combos you can kind of do with it too. I gotta find Mono Whiteboarder. He knows what they are better than I do, but yeah, it's such a cool card. It's just a shame that the front side is so strong. I was actually thinking about building a deck that's like all the backside of these equipments or of these creatures. It'd be hard to like get them to all line up because they all kind of do different things, but could be interesting. We got an 8/8. Do they steal the Monarch from us? I'd probably leave this back as a blocker. 5/6 is decent. As it stands right now, we have enough damage to just kill them. If they don't get... Well, they could block the big one, I guess. They'd probably survive if they blocked the big one. Nope, they're tapping it out. Oh, they're going to take down the Toski. Do they have a Swords or a Path right here? I'm curious to see what they have. Board wipe and this play looks great. Lack of board wipe or some sort of protection, fog, Teferi's protection. Basically anything that's going to... If they don't have anything that's going to stop us from like killing them, then I don't know that this is a great play. But if they do, it makes sense. We have 0 evasion, so if they just lay down a bunch of blockers. Flintlock goes down. Turn 11, first player going down. Kind of a slow game. Yeah, like I said, mono white ETB. Not a quick deck. We did get stuck for a long time. If we were, if we had saw one of these earlier in the game, that would have helped. I think opponent said they'd have a fair... Yeah, that's a great move. That's a farewell. On all modes except graveyards. Oh, they're on 7 planes. We're going to have to shoot that. We are going to have to shoot that. Ouch. Yeah, I really wanted to leave that Ghostway up. That's going to hurt a lot. I'm just going to do it now. I'm not even going to mess around because I don't want to forget. They're on 7 planes. We need a planes off the top, and we can get something going with Amaria Shepherd. Get back our Inspiring Overseer. Man, that was such a cool thing we had going, though. Wish one more turn of that. I mean, they'd be dead. But there's the planes. Nothing for the Cavalier to shoot right now. God, we'll get the Inspiring Overseer. Amaria Shepherd of her own. You have to wonder if they should have went for the graveyards. I don't know what they have in their hand. Play the planes. Get our Inspiring Overseer back. We did lose some win condition type cards, though. To the battlefield. Draw a card. Gain a life. Takasha's welcome. Haven't used this one yet. Looks good, though. Play the Wall of Omens. More card draw. We're still at 71 cards in the library. For this late in the game, you'd really hope to be further along. Ooh, that's a Burnished Heart. Yeah. We don't have, like, tons of heavy hitters to get, but at least we can get the Cavalier back. We can get the Burnished Heart. We can get a lot of lands, which is actually a really big deal. And there's a Marsh Flats. Okay. We have some things going. Just need that Amaria Shepherd to hold up. Back to our turn. Also to not get the graveyards exiled, which probably should have already happened, but twice now. With the Farewell and with the Scavenger Grounds, he tapped it again. Like, especially when you can see the Amaria Shepherd, like, he can't see a Living Death in someone's hand. You might be able to, like, kind of sense that they have it, but you can see the Amaria Shepherd. Like, just crack the thing. I feel pretty good that we've got a great shot to win this game now. We need to watch out for Avacyn or any of the indestructible flyers. Those are a concern, but We've seen some of the nastier angels. Aurelia Gisela might be problematic, but well, we've got this thing, right? So if we're getting this thing and we're blinking this thing, well, we don't have blink. We have one blink. We have more than one blink. Yeah. Oh no, it's a Bajuka bug. Hit Sean. 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 Who's it gonna be? Oh, we have the Emeria Shepherd. Like you have to go for us, right? There's just no way you don't go for us. Yeah, they go for us. Sean's deck does have Mastery Animation though for artifacts, so like it's a concerning play. All right, still uphill. Still uphill. I don't know how we're gonna find damage. Are they passing without doing anything? Priest of Ancient Lore. More card draw. This is all very awkward. Oh man, Burnish. Even if we don't get value off the Burnish chart, it's still ramp. So play the Marsh Flats, crack the Marsh Flats, get a Plains. There are about 5 Plains left in the deck. Okay, want to keep that in mind. Maybe we don't go on that then, just because if things get blown up, we probably want to leave that. Yeah, okay. That's the Kasha's Welcome. In hindsight, I think maybe we should have just cast our Commander. Yeah. How much of this? That is 9. We do not have 9, but we can cast the Priest of Ancient Lore. Keep the value coming. Gain another life. We draw 2 cards. There's a Plains. And Homer Path. Leave up Ghostway like we haven't done all game. Yeah, into the Kaalia deck. They have the most cards. Yeah, into Kaalia. Still like a 4-turn clock. Gets quicker with this. Yeah, this is actually a situation where I wish there were more basics in the deck. Because we want to leave a couple in case we need to pull stuff back with the Emeria Shepherd. But, oh man, I don't know, maybe next turn. We'll see. Would love to get some more. We just need a ramp. We need mana. That's Altar of Dementia. What can we just... We can discard this, and then we won't have to cast it. There we go. Also, we can do some stuff. Okay. We could theoretically mill ourselves, and then use the Burnish Heart combo, and that's not a terrible place to be. Alena, back to play. Leaves up the War Room. Not enough mana, though. They get a Scry. Oh, that's really interesting. So, like, depending on how much stuff we get into play, we could, like, theoretically mill ourselves quite a bit to try to find the Revel Arc combo. Huh. It's interesting. It's very interesting. 3-4, over to the Kaalia deck. I've had this happen where, like, you leave Sean alive and he comes back with this deck. Again, he's, one big artifact reanimation spell and he's going to have a ton of stuff. Surprisingly, they didn't recast Kaalia last turn. I don't know why. Necropotence. That card gets me killed more than it's good. This is not a great situation for it. Unless they've got a protection spell to not die to creatures. Because drawing, 4, 5, 6 cards right here puts them into a very precarious spot. Yeah, for the most part, I don't run Necropotence outside of combo decks anymore because of that. It's just, losing your natural card draw hurts so bad. And the fact that, like, it's all end step stuff, it's just not for me. Like, it's not that it's not playable and it's not good. It's just, it's not for me. It's not well suited to the style of play that I like. I think it really works best if you're trying to combo off. They only go for 2. Or because you have to exile, right? Yeah, whenever you discard a card, exile it. Yep. They could easily pitch a land, though. I'd probably go a little more. Again, I don't know what they have, but if they have something, then you can kind of gear towards that. But there's the Nykthos finally showing up. That is so helpful. Oh my god, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white sources. That is fantastic. Only problem, let's get the Altar of Dementia first. Because I don't think this is a May. No, it is a May. Okay. Yeah, okay. Just play the Nykthos. Trigger. Say no. Play the Burnish chart. Oh, I think we have exactly enough to do this. We're not going to be able to leave up Ghostway, which might be concerning, but... Cloud Shift. Huh. Yeah, we're not going to have enough. Never mind. I was thinking we can get this and crack that, and that would be so awesome. I think we're still doing this, though. Let's use this thing. Crack the Burnish chart. Oop, down to 3. Okay, that's going to kind of change how we want to do things here. Get back the Burnish chart. Get back the Elesh Norn. After that, Battlefield. Let's mill ourselves, sacrifice the Elesh Norn. Hope we don't hit the Plains. Oof, I didn't think about that. We did not, but we hit the Karmic Guide. And the Pearl Medallion. Crack the Burnish chart. Get a Plains. Last Plains. Get the Karmic Guide. Battlefield. Get the Elesh Norn. And now we have a decent team. Yeah. I think we need to send them all. 1 card to go in our combo. And if, like, some sort of disaster should happen that Sean finds something crazy, we could mill ourselves a whole bunch, then sacrificing most of our board, and then Cloud Shift the Karmic Guide to get a Revel Arc and kill him at instant speed if necessary. That's a farewell. Super nasty. Hoping it doesn't come to that, but, you know, push comes to shove. That is a really interesting thing that we could do. Unless they leave up the Scavenger Grounds like they haven't done all game. Which they just did. So that line is shut off. Plays a Hellkite Tyrant and gets a bunch of extra mana. Actually only 4 because of the Elesh Norn. There's an Iroas. Not terrible. Finally exiles the graveyards, but now's not the time to do it. You gotta leave that up, because we can still do trickery with this. Like, the damage has already been done. The graveyards needed to be exiled many times this game. Alright, there's an Echo cost on that one. We're just gonna let that go. Probably need the damage, but... Oh, we could have sacrificed it in the... Yeah, whoops. Yep, that one finds Revel Arc. I feel like he'll get salty if I kill him with the Revel Arc combo. This would find Revel Arc, and then we do the thing, and then we win. So instead of that, that's a 4/3. We can just give him the combat death. Oh, what we can do, though. We can just play Alena and get that back to our hand. Helpful. Only took 14 turns to assemble our combo if we needed it. Homeward Path, Karmic Guide to hand. Maybe we're going to have to discard something. We're going to have to discard 2 things. Go Felidar Guardian, and I guess since we're not getting the Revel Arc, we'll get rid of the Recruiter. Activates the War Room. I don't think, based on what we have, he'd have to, like, wheel our hand first and get rid of, like, our protection and removal and stuff. He just doesn't really have the mana to do that. There's a Forsaken Monument. Yeah, it's just too late for that. Oh, he is sending... Ooh, he is sending the thing, isn't he? We do not have a flyer. We can Cloud Shift something. Cloud Shift this thing. And not lose our artifacts. It's only 1, but it's a really good one. And he scoops right there. So, yeah, that was not a quick game. There were a lot of board wipes in the middle, which allowed us the time to get into it. We had 2 turns where we had like 7 or 8 mana ready to cast Rout, and someone else wiped the board on our behalf, so we never needed to do it, which was interesting. Normally, when you don't spend that much mana in a game, you lose. But, yeah, opponents got caught up in the, like, what was it, triple board wipe, I think. And a few people were low on life, didn't have a lot of cards left by the end of that, and that was just when we were starting to hit our card draw. I have to say, the Blessed Sanctuary, Conjurer's Closet, Cathar's Crusade combo was pretty sweet. I wish that got to stick around. I wish that was how the win... I wish we got to win with that, because that was really cool. As far as the rest of this deck, yeah, it's ETB stuff. I think if you can assemble that combo quickly, like, you can actually, you know, it's not going to be a blazing fast win, but, you know, I don't know, if you ramp the right way, turn 8, you might be able to do something with that. After playing this game, I mean, you know, running joke of my life, I just feel like you want to strap swords to this thing. It's a 4/7, like, there's just so little that can block it profitably. Putting swords on it seems like a really good idea. So if you're looking for like something a little bit stronger with this, I mean, a couple of evasion swords and a Blackblade Reforged, you know, cast a Stoneforge Mystic, you'll get 2 of them at a time. Seems really good. Like, you don't even have to commit that many cards to that strategy. You know what I mean? That's like 6 cards basically, right? So you can do whatever you want with the rest of your deck. So yeah, if you wanted to speed up, Blackblade Reforged, a couple swords for some evasion. And, you know, that'll put a lot of pressure on people, because we weren't pressuring anyone until, I don't know, turn 10 or something like that. So, anyway, I'm glad we got to take a look at it. It performed similar to how I expected this build to perform. I'd be curious to try some of the other things, try the Voltron thing, really to try the Soul Sisters one. That one seems kind of cool. I'll have to give that a look. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel, vote on which decks I play next, or if you want to get some good games of Spell Table, be sure to check out my Patreon at the link below.